Well, hello there, and welcome back to Listener Suggestion Summer here at We Read It One Night, the podcast where two sisters talk about our favorite romance novels. This week, we're jumping into Book 2 of the Twisted series by Anna Huang, Twisted Games. This kinky contemporary featuring a princess and her bodyguard got our blood pumping in more ways than one. We talk about that crawl to me scene, wonder about the state of workers' rights in the Eldoran Royal Guard, and introduce you to literature's newest campy gay icon. Drop us a rating and review while you're listening, and stop by our bookish queer shop, Evelyn and Adelaide, linked in the description. And most importantly, enjoy the show.
So my car AC has had leaks in it for like 4 years or something. And
Yeah.
my car guy in Nashville was like, well, you could pay like $700 to get the leaks like fixed, or you can just like every year or so put in this like $20 can of like sealant stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been doing the sealant, except I probably should have just like paid it to get it because it's like so annoying every time. Like I never remember how to do it. Because this fucking coolant thing, it never expires at least, but like I'm a little bit afraid that the can's gonna explode from being in my hot trunk for so long. But it even has a tag on it that's like download our app for like exact instructions for your car. And I need to delete that shit. And it's just like a bunch of videos that it's like absolutely not my car. So then I had to like find another one and like figure out how to, it was just like really, it's always way more complicated, like every step of the way, even when it's like really not like, where no one explains it clearly. Like it's really hard to find a clear explanation for your car because it really is like 2 steps. It's not that many steps. It's not that hard. It's just like, they don't explain it.
That seems like an incredibly bold and implausible claim for them to make.
That they made a video
that they have it for every car.
Well, it's just like really, they literally have you like put in like make, model, year, and they say like, oh, this is for like your car. Exactly. I know. I mean, it shouldn't be that impossible for like, like major. You're right. I guess it is kind of.
I don't know. That seems incredibly bold.
Yeah, it is really bold. What did you do today?
No, I went to Michael's and I purchased hot pink yarn.
I was like struggling to find color changing cotton yarn, like all 100% cotton. And I realized that this like Karen cotton ripple cakes is 100% cotton, but like Karen cotton cakes is not.
Karen cotton cake sounds like Peter Cottontail's less famous sister. Or like his like maiden aunt who calls the manager on everyone.
No, it's Caron. You know, like it's all the color changing.
Yeah,
ones.
I know, but I'm just saying the name, the sound. Karen Cotton Cakes is the aunt that Peter Cottontail doesn't like to admit that he has because she's embarrassing. I mean, she's making cotton cakes of all things. Disgusting.
True. Better than acrylic, I guess.
Well, if a rabbit was managing to make acrylic yarn, I would be very impressed.
They managed to make plastic.
Do you think maybe they can make yarn from rabbit fur?
I was just thinking that like they are called cottontails. Probably. It'd probably be just a lot more tedious to like combine the fibers. Like yeah, probably. Or maybe not, who's to say? I really like this book.
Yeah. Okay, hello. We're talking about Twisted Games by Anna Huang, which is a listener suggestion insofar as we've gotten multiple requests to do the rest of the series. Specifically to do the next book, which is the book that I gave up on the series at. So we'll see how that goes.
Really? Wait, which one is it? Is it Stella?
It's Josh. No, Stella is the last
Stella
one. It's Josh and Jules. It's Josh and Jules. It's Twisted Hate. No, I like Jules. I don't like Josh. I don't want to spoil it for you, but
aren't they not all audiobooks though? I feel like that was, or were they not all out? There was some reason we like couldn't do them all right away. Were they not out yet?
No, I think we just didn't do them right away. I think you were just like, I hate Alex so much that I can't, I need a break.
Oh, I can't remember. Like, really? I didn't like it. I just
hated you. You hated
this
Alex.
this one came out 2022, and I feel like we did the first one like a while ago, so maybe they weren't
We
out
did
yet.
it. No, they definitely were. The last book wasn't out yet when we did the first
Okay.
book, but the
Okay.
rest of them
Did she
were.
release them all like rapid fire?
I don't know.
I mean, she must have if they were all out. Like we did Twisted Games like a while ago.
Twisted Lies
Whatever, yeah, Twisted Lies.
or
That was like
Twisted
before.
Love. Twisted Love.
That was like before whatever. Before.
Everything's twisted.
I swear that was before 2022. You don't remember when we did it?
We basically started the podcast in 2022. Like we only had like a few episodes in 2021.
Oh.
We started in November 2021.
Episode 46. I'll be come up if you Google it. September 13th, 2022.
Yeah, Twisted Games, I think, is my favorite in the series, which I also haven't read half of it.
Right. I was gonna say,
I read half of Twisted Hate. Then I was like something,
like 60%.
I'm getting bad vibes of what may come in the future. And so I read reviews. I read like 1-star reviews so I could get a spoiler because I was like, I need to know how this one thing is going to pan out. And then I was like, I didn't like how it panned out. And I'm not the only one. Twisted Hate is a very controversial book among the Twisted fandom.
Among the Twisted fandom.
But I haven't read the last one, Twisted Lies, because it wasn't out when I was reading them. That's what it was.
That makes sense. Yeah, they don't say anymore. You're not very good at them.
No, I'm done.
Not saying spoilers. Although you did do a great job. I should have said you did it. Kudos you deserve commendation for Bridgerton Part 2. Oh. Because you were like something. I just found out something happens that's making me like jump up and down or whatever. And so the whole time I was like, so either it's going to be something like, either I'm like, I have my like expectations up so high. Well, I was just impressed that you didn't like say it outright, whatever it was, first of all. So like, good job that you didn't like actually spoil it. But then I was like, somehow it's going to be something like so minor that I'm like now have such high expectations and I'm going to be disappointed. But it actually was pretty good and it was not spoiled. So good work.
It was delightful. Julia Quinn just posted a statement about it, about the Michaela change.
What did she say?
Basically being like, everybody calm the fuck down. Like, I'm excited about this. Like, because people are starting like change.org petitions to like,
what do you mean?
Change Michaela back into a man.
Really?
Like to not gender bend.
Really
to like
funny.
not make Francesca. Like the homophobes are mad. And
that's really funny.
And yeah, she was like basically she was like, the showrunner literally asked me like when she was like, how do you feel about this?
Well, were they saying like Julia would hate this or something?
No, they were just like, it's not true to it's like, you know, they were being stupid. They were being stupid and homophobic and acting as if they're just mad that it departs from the book and not like not acknowledging that they would be significantly less mad if it were a man.
Right. Well, yeah, that's exactly what they're saying. They're saying that they would be less mad if it was a man.
Or less mad like with any other change. That they didn't react this way with any other major change.
I know. Yeah. Yes.
But all right. Okay. Yeah. So okay. Twisted Games. We have I finished this book 2 weeks ago, Rachel, so I'm going to be a little bit fuzzy on the details.
Okay.
I was gonna like 3 times speed reread it again, but then you were like, want to record tonight? And I was like,
sorry.
No.
I feel like does that actually help anyway? I know. I also was like, I didn't finish it that long ago, or I finished it like recently, but I listened to the beginning part like a while ago. And I was like trying to just like get back into like the, I don't know, feel of it when I was driving. To be
honest, the beginning is like not important at all.
The beginning is so weird.
Just a series of vignettes.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking about it's a series of vignettes. It takes it takes place over the course of like 2.5 years, 3 years.
Yeah,
right after
long
she
graduates
college. She doesn't. Yeah, and I thought that was interesting because I don't know. Sometimes in a lot of romances, like the whole plot takes place over like a week.
Yeah.
It takes place over the course of like a week. And I'm always like, I don't know why they can't just like put in, you know.
Yeah. Why can't this just happen?
And time hop. But then honestly, like this didn't really do much for me. So I don't know. I get it. Like that's fine. I now approve that artistic choice.
But then the
like,
main part of the the main part of the book takes place over like 6 months or something. So like
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
is like over
Mm-hmm.
a period of time. It's like I just feel like she wrote the main part of the book
Mm-hmm.
and then her beta readers or like an editor was like, we need the develop like because they're already 3 years into the relationship, like you need to like show us.
But why did they need to be 3 years into their relationship?
Well, because he already came because she wrote herself a little bit into a corner with the ending of Twisted Love because Twisted Love takes place over like 2 years, right? Because the first part of it, like this book kind of has like the opposite pacing of Twisted Love, where like Twisted Love was like the first part was like 3 months and then 3 months of wallowing, and then he's stalking her in London for a year that takes place over the course of like
Mm,
2 chapters. And
right.
this was like, and then that book ends like a year later with like Bridget
Mm-hmm.
being announced that she is gonna take over the throne. So like they had to just be like bopping around for a while.
Yeah, yes, I agree. I guess, except, yeah, but how was it
Like
three
I don't
years
think
or
that
two?
needed to happen. I'm just saying that's like she wrote herself into a corner with it.
But so that was like 2 years versus three or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So Bridget is a princess and the love interest is her bodyguard,
And his name is Rhys.
which you love. So you should really love this book,
It's just Anna Huang pulling out the big
realistically
guns.
speaking.
Rhys or Sebastian, those are the big guns for hero names.
Mm,
Like if it's one of those names,
really?
that author like is
Like has
is gonna
full faith
throw
and
it all
credit,
in. Yeah.
full faith and credit in this hero. So really
Yeah.
Sebastian, are there any other examples of Sebastian besides the one fucking Saint Vincent?
Yeah. There's a lot in historical romance. I'm pretty sure Lord of Scoundrels, Dane is first name is Sebastian. So
But they
he's
call
like
him
actually the
Dane.
OG.
Mm.
But there's also a lot I feel like in contemporary and like this kind of like dark-ish romance. Sebastian is
Hmm.
definitely
Would you? This is not dark romance.
this is I'm that's why I said dark-ish.
Hmm.
Like Twisted I think this book, Twisted Games, is like by far the most tame.
Yeah.
Like the other ones like Twisted Love obviously was like darkish romance. Twisted Lies has like stalking involved or something.
So he's her bodyguard, and for some reason, so she's the princess. She's living in America. For some reason, she only gets one bodyguard, and somehow this bodyguard is expected to be with her literally not exactly 24/7, which kind of makes even less sense because you would think that she need like he says when I turn in for the night, I get my time off, which means that like his time off is just like however long she's sleeping. So like he has to decide between either like any time off or sleeping. And also it doesn't quite make sense because like wouldn't she need someone at night too to be like at least manning the security camera? Like that
He's a
just doesn't make
honed
sense.
predator, Rachel. He can wake up at the drop of a hat.
But like
Be ready to attack.
not if he's not there sleeping because it's his time off, TM. And it's implied that like he could be like out there dating and like sleeping with other women if he wanted to, like, or at the bar. Like that's all possible. And also just like the fact that he's the only person supposed to be with her 24/7. No, I just feel like the palace is really asking for what they got here. Like, how the fuck did her previous bodyguard Blue? How was he able? He is gone. He leaves in the beginning of this for paternity leave. How did he manage
Yeah.
to forget like actually meet someone and marry them because he has a wife apparently? But how did he manage to even have time to like go get someone pregnant? Like if he's with her
Yeah.
24/7,
Is there like a hidden scandal? It's not Booth's baby, actually.
right? Like what? Yeah, and much less in Eldora. Like you can't just like pop off to Eldora during the 9 hours that you get to sleep. Generous estimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does not add up. They could have, and it would have been so easy to, I don't know, it could have just been like, and my like home security detail that like came with me when Rhys had his days off. Like I missed him.
Or could there could just be two. There could be a night
Right.
guard and a day guard, and if you want the night guard to not pose a problem to the romance, just make him like a crotchety old man / fatherly figure. Like, there you go.
Right.
Problem
Yeah.
fucking solved.
Right. And he just like kind of hangs out in the guardhouse. Like he doesn't actually like come in the house with her and stuff. But
Yeah.
still, it still makes no sense to have like a single person be with her
Just
24/7 and
one
have them not
guy.
right and expect her to like not make friends. You know what I mean?
Listen,
Like become really close to them. Like that's insane.
listen.
Insane.
Rhys is worth like 20 guys. We have some of the one thing I will say about this first 2.5 years is that we get some of my favorite quotes in this just like him being like, I'm in this job to save lives, princess. I've taken many of them. And now
Right.
and then she was too beautiful to be touched by any part of my ugly past. I grew up in dust and grit.
Yeah. God.
The audiobook narrator, once again, it's the same one from the first book, went like more bass than an EDM concert. I was like,
Yeah.
I can feel
I
this in my
know.
bones.
I
I love
know.
it.
I know. Wait, I still have more to say though on like the whole
Oh no, please. I just was like really chomping at the bit to say it was cool.
yeah. Nice. Listen, you did a very good impression.
Thank you.
Um, I I also feel like she was leading up to like
Oh
Bridget
wait, I'm
standing up to
sorry.
the
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can I just there's one more quote. I'm so sorry. She makes him laugh for the first time. Like, this is like 30 minutes in, and he's like, something in my soul stirred, nudged awake by the reminder that something existed outside of the darkness that haunted me for so long.
yeah, I really feel like there was like I was waiting for like more for like another like huge like plot drop at the end, especially, and then it just turned out to be like nothing really.
That's what Twisted Love set us up for. Like
I
10 million
know.
plot twists. We kept thinking it was the end, and then there was like
Yeah,
still
I
hours
know. It's like
left.
what else is there? Yeah.
This was a
Yeah.
much more besides the 2.5 the beginning, the 2.5 year beginning. That's like the first like 25% of the book. This book was much better paced than
You think
Twisted.
so?
Like it was much more planned out, it felt like.
I guess. Or just like less surprises, which I guess could mean more planning, but like, or,
Well,
just
we'll
less of a
see if it
wild ride.
continues with the rest of the series.
I really expected, because okay, so she doesn't have like any say over who her bodyguard is, and she hasn't even like met him before he shows up. And she's not allowed to have pets. And I just really thought it was going to build up to like her standing up for the palace more and like the rules. Like, I don't know, but it didn't.
Well, she
She doesn't
does.
even
I
get a
mean, she
kid.
does overturn a law.
No, I know, but that's not just like the bureaucracy of the palace. Like, I don't know. Like somehow I thought like I was like, yeah, why wouldn't you get any say in your own security detail? Like why wouldn't they not even let you meet them or like let you request like anything? It
Yeah.
doesn't
When
make
Rhys steps
sense.
out of the car for the first time, like it just felt very Miranda Priestly coded at the beginning of The Devil Wears Prada. Like when she like gets out of the car and she's walking through the lobby and then she walks up and everyone's like freaking out. I just felt like Rhys would get the same treatment.
Wait, say that again? When what
In The
happens?
Devil Wears Prada, in the
Yes, I
beginning,
understood
when
that
Miranda
part. What
Priestly
are you
walks out,
likening it? What are you likening it
when
to?
Rhys first steps out of the car, when he first appears, like
Where?
at Bridget's house,
Oh,
like when Booth is still with her, he's like,
yeah.
Ruth is like, oh, that's the replacement bodyguard. There was just something very like about that vibe. Like
Mm.
Rhys was that bitch.
Oh, yeah, like he was coming in. I was like, why doesn't Bluth stand up to him? Really put him in his place. That was weird.
Because it started with like his shoe, like his like gleaming shoes hit the thing and it like pans up the same
Right.
way like Miranda Priestley does.
Oh. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe her and Bluth have to be together for 24/7 and like they have to talk the whole time. Like, I don't know. Like that better be your like very best friend. You're just like keeping
Well,
awkward
Booth was her
small
very best
talk.
friend.
Yeah,
Slash
that's true.
servant.
I guess. Well, servant slash friend.
Servant slash friend.
What about her other? I know, but like, what if they weren't, or like, I don't know, or like, it's so much pressure. I feel like you would
Yeah.
never actually be comfortable with them. I don't know. They're like always with you. It's so weird. I feel like I
Yeah.
feel like it'd be easier for both of you to just like pretend like they're not, you know? I don't know. I like how she's like describing her house and stuff, and she's like, well, a housekeeper comes by twice a month to deep clean, but I keep the place neat and tidy by myself for the most part. It's like, right. Like, I don't know.
Okay, ma'am.
I feel like deep cleaning twice a month is like kind of the extent of, I don't know. Like, okay, like what? Like you're putting away your clothes. I guess that counts as cleaning.
You
I don't know.
fold your laundry, like,
Right.
hey,
Like what is she? Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, whatever.
God forbid the princess fold her laundry.
What school? So they go to, so she's still in college when this starts. What
I
school
think it's
is
called
Thayer?
Thayer.
What is it supposed to be in real life?
I don't
I
know,
forgot
some
that it was in
Washington,
DC.
D.C. private school.
Okay.
Maybe like Georgetown.
Like it's giving like NYU almost.
I just feel like Georgetown is like the most prestigious, I feel like, of the Washington, D.C. universities. And I feel like it's the most
Hmm.
likely, like, the closest to like an Ivy, which would be the type of
Like they're
school
trying to
that
make it seem
that
like.
they're trying to make it seem like. So I feel like it's
Right.
got to be Georgetown.
Yeah. Speaking of Jules, I want to know what she did in Ohio because
Oh,
Alec
you'll find
knows.
out. Oh, and
Okay.
apparently a listener, this was one of the times that the listener requested we do the rest of the series. In the first book, Josh has this painting, and I re-listened to our episodes on Twisted Love so I could hear what we had to say. Josh has this
Mhm.
painting, and we spend like 5 minutes being like, "What the fuck is up with this painting? Why is this painting so
A part of
important?
the
Why is this
plot.
painting mentioned? It never gets like becomes important." The painting does come into play in Josh's book. I
Oh,
was
thank. Well, I
told
would
by a
hope so.
listener.
I would hope so. Josh, the like frat king, the like over college age hanger around.
Yeah, the random guy who's like still there, but is
Right.
now doing like Doctors Without Borders, whatever.
Right.
Oh, it's also in our Twisted Love episode, we were also really dragging Rhys for the fact that he lets Bridget get kidnapped in that
Oh
book,
yeah.
which we also get in this book. But I was like, to be fair to Rhys, she did sneak out. And he
Right.
also
Okay.
he also like
And you know
is
what?
like,
Maybe if there
thank
was a night
goodness.
guard.
Thank goodness I quote planted a secret tracking chip in her phone a few
I
weeks ago.
know. God. Yeah. Well, because I guess because there's no night guard. He was off duty
There's no night
technically.
guard. Yeah, exactly.
That was so, and yeah, like the only time she's really in danger this whole book. And I really thought that was going to change at the end with the blackmailing, but then it
No,
didn't.
because remember the random shooter?
Right. The only time she was in danger have nothing to do with her being a princess. When she's kidnapped with her
Yeah.
friend because of her friend, she's involved in a random park shooting, like mass shooting, like, but nothing to
Yeah.
do with her. And I thought that man was going to come back somehow. When I was trying to figure out who the blackmailer was going to be, I thought somehow that like man in the park was gonna come back, like the dad.
No. No. It just felt like there was a lot, I feel like, of repetitive scenes that kind of
Hmm. All
showed
did
us
the
the
same
same
thing.
thing. Like we got multiple scenes of like
Right.
Rhys being jealous of her talking with other men, and
Hmm.
we got multiple scenes of
Hmm.
Rhys like being a badass like operative
Hmm.
saving her from danger. And I feel like and like but
Hmm.
also like caring about the common folk. Like
Right.
I feel like we only really needed like one and we got
Hmm.
several for each of those messages.
Right. And also like doing nice things for her. Like we get that like weird music festival thing, which I'm sorry, but like watching it from your TV at home, that is not the same as like going to a festival with your
Oh,
friends.
not at all. Not
Like
at
that's
all.
not even the
But
point.
it was fucking adorable that he like got
Not
her a tent
really.
and like got her all
Not really
these
because he didn't let
snacks.
her go to begin with. But
Okay,
anyway.
but
But like that didn't need to happen when then like Costa Rica happened. Like I don't know.
then Costa Rica
Hmm.
happened.
Yeah, it was very interesting pacing.
It was
Very
very interesting
interesting.
pacing. Oh, and wait, well, one one of the uh at one point she gets like stuck. She's like trying on clothes and she gets like stuck in a
Oh
sweater or
yeah,
whatever.
and that
And she
too.
was like, "What? No, but she has this thought where she's like, one of my irrational lifelong fears is getting stuck in clothing." And
Yeah,
honestly, I
same.
really related to that. Like the claustrophobic feeling of like having it stuck around your like I was
Oh, yeah, I
like,
have
I get
dreams. I have
it.
so many. That's like one of my like recurring dreams is like being on clothing. But no, and I know this because I went back to listen to it again. She doesn't say irrational fear. She says rational fear. And like she's
Oh,
not wrong. It is a rational fear.
it's happening to you right now, Bridget. You're right.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it can happen to anyone at any time.
That's the
Never
you must
forget.
always be prepared. It's like the rapture.
Yeah.
Always be prepared to be stuck in clothing.
That's why this shirt that I'm making is too big because, well, because the head hole had to
It's
be
full of
like,
secrets.
No, it had to be like in increments of like, it had to end in a 6. So I had to make it like either 10 bigger or 10 smaller. But of course, I made it like big. Well, also, the 10 smaller wouldn't have fit over my head. So I guess I didn't really have a choice, but still better bigger than smaller. Better out than in, out of
Better
his
out than in,
clothes.
I always say.
Yeah, yeah. And also, so he's like 10 years older than her, which unclear why that was necessary. But like,
Yeah, I
since
didn't.
everyone else
Well,
is
you
like in
know
their
why?
20s,
You know why it was
why?
necessary? Because he has to have
See if he
this
could fight in the
whole.
Gulf War.
Yes, he had to have like he had to spend the minimum amount of time in the military for us to believe that he like climbed the ranks and was like, like more than just a grunt.
Was he?
And then
They ever say
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I think he's like because he was in charge of his team. His whole tragic backstory, part of his tragic backstory is that
Mm.
like his team got killed because some other guy was
Was he
like
in
a
charge
dick.
though?
Because yeah, but because he was like, we were teaming up with this Eldoran
Oh, I
guy.
know. And he said I had a plan, but that doesn't necessarily mean he was in charge. Maybe he just like came up with a good plan.
I feel like, I don't know, it seemed to
But
imply that he
anyway,
was.
I feel like the story could have still worked if he was younger. I mean, especially if we suspend all disbelief, like with Alex. But even if he had been younger, as you said, as you pointed out, I'd never been fresh faced, even when I was a kid. I grew up in dirt and grit.
Um, his backstory was also, I don't know if you read 50 Shades of Grey, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever gotten through the whole thing.
Okay. Well, his backstory felt very like Christian Grey coded or inspired,
Mm,
particularly because so like we got the single moms, like the shitty single mom who couldn't protect her son from the world. Christian Grey got his cigarette burn scars from his mother's pimp. But
really? I thought he was
yes.
adopted.
Yes, but before that he lived with his
Oh,
his mother the crack whore in quotes.
right.
I like to fuck little
Right.
brown-haired girls like you because you all remind me of my mother, the crack whore.
Right. Does he really say that? What?
Yes, that's a direct quote. It's burned into my mind.
Crucifix nail nipples.
Yeah. But that's what like but like and then whereas Rhys got his from directly from the source from his mom and then like I don't know, just like all of it just felt very I was feeling a lot of parallels between Rhys and Christian Grey, except Rhys didn't get adopted by a rich blended family.
And Reese's mom wasn't trying to protect him from the world. Where did he grow up after the age of 11? It's like never said. I guess in
Wait,
foster
does
care.
his mom die at 11?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize.
Yeah.
He lived in the grit and the dirt, Rachel.
Yeah, that's where he grew up. I grew up in dirt and grit. Why doesn't she have a cat? Like really low cat tail for that. Like
I
they all
really
use the animal shelter and stuff, and she's like, the palace doesn't allow pets. Like, okay, I'm sorry,
yeah,
you're the
that was
fucking princess.
and then she becomes the queen.
And then
Like,
she doesn't get it. That's what I was saying. Like, that's what I was saying. It's
yeah.
weird that she doesn't like change that. Cause she has her like old friend, her like her friend the old lady who she works with, who's retiring, who she volunteers with.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that
shocked
old
that she doesn't.
lady, yeah, adopted the two cats or whatever.
Yeah, why doesn't she get a cat from the shelter? Why doesn't Rhys get her a cat? Why isn't that like a little
Yeah.
cutesy relationship grand gesture thing?
Hmm.
Like I always wanted a cat, but I couldn't because my grandfather was allergic. But now my
Right.
grandfather's dead.
Right. Well, he
Except,
doesn't
I mean, he's
die.
not. He's not. He comes close twice.
Yeah. Every time Alex showed up in this book, I got anxious, which doesn't bode well for him.
He's Alex is something that I noticed. I've something I've seen people talk
Like on
about.
behalf of Ava,
Yeah, but in the Twisted
he's such a
series
buzzkill.
fandom,
Yeah.
and what I noticed is that Alex is so much better in all the other books than he was in his book. Like in his book, you were like, this man is unwell. But in the other books, he's just like rich man. He's just like the guy who can get you what you need,
Yeah, but I don't know.
basically.
It's still like, do you know what I mean? Like the anxious, like walking on eggshells feeling, like when he's at the bar with them and
No,
he's
because
like,
I never, I
I want to
never,
go.
I never experienced that from Al. I know that you did.
You've never been around anyone who like,
No, it's not that I don't know exactly what type of person you're getting the reason. Like, I understand why you're getting the vibes from him, but I have reached a point in my reading where I'm able to just like disconnect and just be like, this is a guy and this is normal in his world.
Right. I don't know.
I am ready to accept that he is a normal guy.
I also think it's really funny that Anna Huang appears to think that drive-by shootings are random, just like I used to as a kid. Did you notice that? Like Alex says something, or not Alec, Rhys says something like, I think there could have been a drive-by shooting or something. And Bridget is like, cats would fly before a drive-by in Hazelburg. It was one of the safest city in America. And most of the students didn't own cars. And it's like as if it would be like random chance if she was hit and not like targeted because she's a princess. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I
but
mean?
he does always take care. We do get the detail that he takes care to not let her walk on the outside of the sidewalk.
Sure. Like whatever. Yeah. But like that's not how drive-by shootings are like because someone wants to
They're
kill you.
not just
Someone
like,
has like a
guys, let's go on a
vendetta
ride and start.
and shoot random people. I mean, like, sure, people do that also, I'm sure, but like that's not like what a drive-by shooting. Yeah, anyway. I used to think that and I used to like have that thought in my head every time like a car was like coming up behind me.
I wonder whether Anna Huang is American because it reminds me of like what British authors speak also back to 50 Shades of Grey. E.L. James has this idea about guns.
Right.
Like,
Right.
because there's a
Let
whole
me
plot line
see.
where a
That's a
character
good
gets a
question.
concealed carry permit within 48
Yeah.
hours of being released from the psych ward in the state of Washington.
I don't
So,
know what it
like,
says. It says she's the daughter of Chinese immigrants. And she started writing.
immigrants to where?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm assuming America, she writes Asian American characters, but like, oh, it says she was born. No, she was born in New York. New York, it
Okay.
says.
Okay. Because it just felt like very like British author or like even like Australian, like, non-American author tries to write American gun stuff.
Yeah, no, I get it because like I don't know why. When I say when I was a kid, I mean like very much like probably
You
well
mean
into my
you like
20s.
last year?
Right, probably well into my 20s that I still think this, and I don't remember like what disabused me of the notion. Like I think it was just like random chance. I like came across something that I was like, oh, like I guess that's not how that works. So I don't know. Yeah.
You know who I kind of wanted to shoot, especially the first time I read this book?
How many times have you read
Her
this?
brother, just
Yeah, a
twice.
while ago,
Just like
right? Yeah. Her
the
brother.
brother,
Oh yeah.
Nikolai, when he fucking abdicates and like just springs it on her.
I
And
know. Like
I
tells
and
everyone
just
else.
and doesn't even, yeah, and everybody else knows that he doesn't tell her first.
Right. And I'm sorry. Yeah. I just and it seems like his life is like not really affected at all besides not having to be king. Like he's not cut off. He still has like money, everything, right? Like,
Yeah.
right?
Like it's what Prince Harry should have had, basically.
Right. Well, the
No.
Prince Harry didn't abdicate. I just mean
No,
like
I
even though he
know.
abdicated, but like yeah, so she absolutely could have done that. And honestly, I love that her like reason for not is like literally just like to spite. Like she's like, fuck these. Everyone thinks I
You know
can't
what?
do
I relate
this.
it.
She's like, I don't want this, but no one's gonna tell me I can't have it.
No, but like that's like a direct quote. Like you're joking, but that's like a like
No,
there's
I know.
like
I
fully a
know.
thought
No, I know.
multiple
It's a
times.
direct quote.
Yeah.
No, it's a direct quote, which I really, yeah, I do appreciate that. Although I probably would have just been like, fuck it. I don't care enough. Like why wouldn't I be
Yeah.
like rich with no responsibility? Right?
I'm
Like
gonna be honest though, Sabrina and Nikolai's story felt like it should have been
its own
like
book.
the book before this.
I agree.
This book
Yeah, I
felt
expected that.
very separate from the rest of the Twisted series because we didn't really see any of the other characters. Like none of the
Right.
other characters were really part of it because it
Right.
all takes place in
Right.
Eldora for the most part.
Yeah.
Like it felt like this book should have been it should have been a duology, and the first one is like Nikolai and
Right.
Sabrina, and the second one is Rhys and Bridget.
Right. But then it wouldn't have been like all four of the friends or whatever. But like, yeah, I
Well, I
agree.
know she could have been replaced with a different friend. It didn't need to be Bridget.
I guess she could still write it. But yeah, I agree.
Like, and also, but like, what a slap in the okay. So the fact that like Bridget she successfully
I
overturns the law in
know.
the end
I
and
know.
only
That's
has
all.
to
That's
use
why.
blackmail
Yeah.
on one person. But what a slap
Yes.
in the face to Sabrina
I
that Nikolai
know.
doesn't even fucking try.
I know. Well, he kind of, I think he like talks about like how it's like impossible or whatever. But like,
Yeah, but
yeah,
he
no,
doesn't
it's
even
more like,
try.
oh no, why would that be a slap in the face to Sabrina? He advocated for her. I'm saying, I feel like that'd be a slap in the face for Nikolai. He's like, wow, you guys wouldn't fucking do this for me.
Because he didn't even try.
Well, he doesn't have access to blackmailers, so he really should if he's like fucking Prince. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I felt like not bad for Nikolai, but like it feels like he's the one who's like shafted by that.
I feel like they would have been way more likely to overturn it for Nikolai. Like, I don't think he would have had to resort to blackmail to get the
He
guy to
definitely
bring it up.
says like there's no way.
Yeah, but that's what they all say. And then Bridget is eventually like, wait, no, I'm just gonna, like, why not? Like, I should
Also,
just
like,
try.
what would they do if he just like got coronated? Is that what it's called? Coronated?
Yeah.
It sounds weird.
You crowned.
Coronated, crowned, and then married someone. Like,
I think he would
were
have,
they really,
it
would
would
they
be a
really
good old
depose
British
him?
monarchy during World War II situation.
Which was what? He abdicated. He didn't marry her first. I'm saying, like, what if
He
he was
was
like, no, fuck
king.
you? Well, right. What if he was like, fuck you? He was already king. He had been crowned.
Yes. No, he hadn't been crowned, but he had already
Right. I'm just
inherited because the
saying,
dad had already died.
I'm just saying, what would happen? What would happen if he just did it and then was like, fuck you guys, I'm not stepping down?
I think we would have a constitutional crisis and the monarchy would probably be overturned.
That's just
Like,
so silly.
unfortunately, I do not. I think the people would sing and they would hear the people sing outside of their gates as they were smashed
Would
in.
they? Because the rule, like, why would the people obviously even before she does her press tour and has like a 93% approval rating, I just can't imagine like the commoners are always going to want a commoner to be able to marry a royal, I feel like. Because then that gives them the
Yeah.
possibility of like marrying someone and like, Cinderella story.
Yeah.
Why would the commoners want it to be limited to not a commoner? Like, why not commoner? Is their fair point.
Why not
Right?
comment?
Yeah. Why not us? Like, really, you think they would riot? Like, Parliament might riot.
They may stir up their constituents.
Yeah, they might spin it as like, yeah, it's not about this issue. It's about he has no respect for the law,
Like, they
whatever.
don't care about the people. They think they're above
They
the
don't care about
law.
following the law. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Which is so like
exactly.
dumb. But yeah, I don't know.
It is, it is, it is.
Hear the people singing the songs of angry men.
Yeah. So she finds out and then like falls off her horse and like, clonks
Mhm.
her little head on the pavement and Rhys goes and rescues her in the rain in a very like Marianne and
Very
Colonel,
like
what's his
historical.
Brandon? It was
Yeah, very
Marianne and Colonel
historical move.
Brandon in Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah, it's a very historical romance move.
But then she goes back to New York. I'm just thinking of my
Yeah,
notes. Like it feels like I don't
yes.
think they're in Eldora. Like
She
she
does
wraps things
because
up.
she has like 4 weeks or 3 weeks or something before he's gonna announce it. So that's the when she does her like bucket list TM, right? It's like
Oh
a
yeah.
month.
Yes, 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 yes.
He's like, right, so you have like a month more before you're like now crown princess.
Yes. We also get this gorgeous little tidbit while they're briefly on Eldora, however, in which um we learned that Rhys has memorized the face of every palace employee so that nobody can sneak in as a palace like posing as an employee.
And listen, that is smart.
I'm imagining him
Like
like Emily
Miranda
Blunt.
Priestly
Yeah.
style. Yeah,
Like
with
Emily Blunt and Anne
the book.
Hathaway
Yeah.
memorizing the book. Like he just has a
Yeah.
binder filled with all these
Yes.
headshots that like people were unwilling and like not even necessarily like they'll be like the regular like palace ID headshot, but then they'll also be like a collage of like pictures that he's taken from the bushes of like all angles so he could like
Yeah.
study their gait and like their posture.
Yeah.
The man, listen, that's why he has to be 24/7. Otherwise, he wouldn't have time to do shit like that.
Right. He still doesn't because when he does no, he would have more.
He
He
doesn't
has no
sleep.
time.
He
He
doesn't
has no
sleep.
time where he's not doing exactly what she wants to be doing. Like literally zero.
Maybe that's the real reason that he tells her that he tells her she can't like go to the concert and she can't like do other things because he's like, I don't have time. Like I have like chores, like errands that I need to do.
Right.
And I
Like I
don't
don't
have
have time
time
for
to
this.
be watching you. So like
Right. Like
sit.
if you're at a fucking festival, it means I have to be there at night too.
Yeah.
When am I gonna go to the bar? Like, yeah.
When am I gonna sit and stare out the window with a glass of whiskey and brood? Huh? Ever think about that, Bridget?
Right.
Where's my me time?
Right. I know she's constantly like, I want my me time, blah, blah, blah. But like the real victim here is clearly
Yeah.
like she gets to, yeah, he can't even sit in his pajamas and eat snacks. Like she's always saying she wants to do.
No, she can't. Well, he doesn't want to eat regular snacks, Rachel, because when they go to Costa Rica,
He's a cool
he
mom.
is staring at her. His
But
quote,
like she's a snack.
eyes devoured her the way a lion would tear into a gazelle. So
Right.
no chips and popcorn for Rhys boy.
Greasy boy.
No grease for him. He has to maintain that physique.
Mm-hmm. So silly. Oh, when they're in the mass shooting, whatever,
Yeah.
she's like, she doesn't call the police because she's like, surely someone else in this park will have called the
Yeah.
police already. And if that isn't bystander effect, I just can't explain it. That would never be. Yeah, don't ever assume that someone else called the police because if
Listener.
everyone else is thinking that, like, have a little bit of theory in mind. Like,
Listener.
if
And
you're
if you're
thinking it,
ever listener, if you're ever like taking charge in an emergency scenario, like someone collapses, you say you and you point to someone. You look them
right.
in the eye and you
And
say
be
you
you
call
call 911.
911.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's never like, oh, I'm sure somebody called 911. Just
Right. Like
casually.
I'm sure. I'm so sure. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Also, why doesn't Bridget have like a button or like an app on her
Like an
phone that
emergency
immediately alerts like
button.
local law enforcement?
Right. Or like the police. Because no one's actually after her is the thing. No one's ever after her by virtue of her position. Like because of like, because of her
She's just
position.
incredibly
Incredibly
unlucky.
unlucky. Yeah.
And you know what, Rachel? This is why Alex always makes Ava leave the bar because he knows. He's like, there's something about this town where the statistical probability of being caught in all these fucking dangerous scenarios is astronomically
DC, not the
high.
murder capital of the world for no reason. I feel like every
DC
city I've
is
ever
not the murder.
well, it was at some point. I was about to say I feel like every city I've been to has like been the murder capital at some point. Like,
No,
right? I
that
feel like I've
was
heard that.
well, what
DC
is
has
it?
definitely been
Glasgow. Glasgow was the murder
right.
capital of the world.
Yeah, but like DC definitely has been too.
Yeah.
Like at some point, I don't know when, probably like the 80s. I don't know. I don't know when they started keeping the statistics, but before that, you could just
I don't
murder and not have it, not make
and
any
just get
charts
away with it.
and not make any lists at all. No
You didn't
prizes
have to fill out
at
any
all.
paperwork.
Yeah.
There's so much red tape when it comes to murder nowadays.
God.
A guy can't make a
Yikes.
decent living as a hitman anymore.
Yikes. Yeah. Why weren't they mad about Nick and Sabrina dating
Yeah,
also?
they've been dating for like, this isn't a surprise.
Right. Like, why did they think, like, where did they think it was going? Like, yeah, it's like they were upset about it, but they didn't make him like break it off the way they immediately did with Bridget and the bodyguard.
Well, that's because for some reason they're like, no monarch in Eldoran history has been unmarried when they take the
Mm.
throne, which is insane.
Right. So why wasn't there like some rush for Nikolai? Like, why was he allowed to just date like a commoner?
Because grandpa wasn't, well, there wasn't the rush for Nicola. I mean, there wasn't the rush for Bridget until after grandpa had his second heart attack.
Okay, but like I still feel like they wouldn't have wanted her to be dating. I guess because he's also like an employee, so it's different. Is
Yeah.
Sabrina like rich? Like what is Sabrina's
No,
do we
she was
get
a flight attendant.
Oh, absolutely. Right. What?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
that's
Yeah, that
another
really
reason why this
it should have
feels
been its
like it
own
should have been a
book.
book. Like
Yeah.
she's his flight attendant. They meet in first class. Like it
Right. I
feels like it's like the
agree. Yeah, that's
setup for
weird.
a royal
That is weird.
romance. It's
Are you
weird that
sure
it's
it's
not.
not? Right. Are you sure it's not? You
No,
checked?
but I'm pretty sure that like Twisted Love was this author's first book. So I don't think
Hmm.
she's written very many books apart from
But she's cranking them out.
Yeah, it's weird that there isn't even like, to my knowledge, like a newsletter exclusive short story or like novella or
Hmm.
something, you know. And more
Yeah, I
authors will have
agree.
those.
Yeah, I agree.
Anna Huang, where is Nikolai and Sabrina's book?
Yeah, I
Thank
want
you.
Nikolai and Serena. Actually, I don't know if I really do. I don't know
I
if I
don't
need
care
that.
about them, but on principle, I feel
Mm.
like I should get their book.
Does there have to be something in there where he's just like, fuck my sister? I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you want a book with that plot line that is this, and maybe this is another reason why I really felt, but you felt this way too, and you haven't read this book. There's another series, I think the first one's called Royally Screwed, but it is basically like
Sounds
perfect heir
familiar.
falls in love with commoner American and then abdicates for her, and then like screw up little brother in the next book has to like step
Mm.
up. Okay, yeah, and the part of the reason they do the Costa Rica tour is because not the Costa Rica tour, but like this is gonna ruin the tour. What tour? The world tour.
What?
Have you been seeing?
No.
It's a new meme that's going around. Apparently, allegedly, when Justin Timberlake got arrested a few days ago,
What?
like he got pulled over for a DUI or something.
Oh, I
But
saw that. And like the guy
as
didn't
he was
recognize him.
as he was yeah, the guy didn't recognize him, and apparently as he's being as like the cop is like writing down his information or something.
Hmm.
Justin mutters under his breath, "This is going to ruin the tour." And the cop
Hmm.
says, "What tour?" And he says, "The world tour." And it's people have decided that it's like the funniest thing that they've ever heard in their
It is
entire
kind of
life.
funny.
It
It is
is
kind of
very funny,
funny.
but it's like very like I've seen it applied
Have you
to like
the
many
world
different
tour?
things now. I've seen so many memes of it.
It's really funny. Have you seen the talk? There might be multiple, but like I saw one, um, the which could mean nothing.
Yes, because it's
Yeah.
the
It's like Matt Damon and
that
someone.
leaves Ben Affleck's house early
Oh
in the
yeah.
morning, which could mean nothing.
The one that got me was the bank account. They share a bank account, which
Do
could
they?
mean nothing. Yeah, it was like they were like interviewed about it. And they were like, yeah, it's just so nice to have like someone to share that stuff with or whatever. It's like, right.
You have wives. You're both married.
This might have been from before, but like still.
But yeah, when they go on the tour, the world tour of Costa Rica, after they do that, the reason it's like a goodbye thing because Rhys is like, I can't be your bodyguard in Eldora because I have a
Mhm.
traumatic past that has to do with Eldora. Look at my cigarette burns. Here, do you want a picture that I drew of you? My secret talent? Just like Alex can secretly sing. It shows that I'm a soft-hearted
Poppy.
person.
I don't want to let him sniff my stuff anymore. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. I just remembered how this morning I was laying next to him, the cat, and I watched a drop of drool drop from his little mouth onto the bed. Yes. So now I can't trust you to sniff my food anymore. Well, I still want to eat it.
Yikes. He
You
just
can lick
wants to hydrate it for you.
He likes to lick the ice cream bowl. The cat after my own heart.
Add a little bit of spice.
God.
A week later, after she gets back and he quits, he comes back and they're like, he wants to rejoin your security detail permanently. Like, this man is committing for the rest of his life.
To live in Eldora. Well, no. He could still leave at any time, but to live in the country. No, it's 6 weeks. And he leaves for like 6 weeks at a time, multiple times in this book,
Well,
which is
he
horrible.
has to for immigration reasons, Rachel, because his visa's
Oh,
expiring.
it's because of the random Magda thing.
The random what? Oh, yeah. What
Magda.
was that? I gotta
I don't know, but I'm
assume that
sure it's going to be part of Christian's book. Like that
Yeah,
has to
I
be it,
gotta
right?
assume that's gonna be in Christian and Stella's book because who I
Mm-hmm.
was like, did I miss when they said
Mm-mm.
who the fuck Magda was? Because they don't even tell us who she is.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's gonna be some like secret like
Right. Uh-huh.
reveal.
Yeah, I was really waiting for that to be like part of the blackmail plot that like never materialized.
No, there's always like the painting. There's always like she just throws in these random tidbits, and you're like, I guess I gotta trust that you're gonna address that later. But
It's to get you interested. It's to get the people going.
I mean, and listen, that's
It
that's
worked.
a common romance
Yeah.
novel technique. But it's just like these random, I'm like, you didn't need me. I didn't need like the secrets. You could just introduce the characters and like have me be like, yeah, they're gonna be together. So that's why I want to read their book.
These noodles are so fucking good. And they have mushrooms in them, which like I used to be able to I used to think I was fine with mushrooms, but they've been like really I haven't like eaten a good mushroom in years. No, I haven't been able to eat them. But these are like actually good. No, this is a random Malaysian food restaurant that operates outside of a coffee shop.
Good.
There's no advertising on the outside except for cutout pictures of the chef who
That's incredible.
is a like 70-year-old grandmother who when I went there, our food like kind of took a while. That's okay. But it was like for, I don't know, it was like there for like a work lunch. We were just waiting outside. And she came out and was like talking to us and she was like, oh yeah, like the vegetarian noodle is harder to make because no beef, but like it's a good and it was so fucking good. It's like the best noodles I've had. Or, like, I don't know, I ate
Of
much of it.
course. Those kind of places always have the best fucking food.
I know.
Does it have a star rating on Google and why is it somewhere in the
Probably.
threes?
Apparently it used to operate outside of a gas station.
Oh my God, even better.
It's called Wee's Cozy Kitchen, which the only thing I don't like about it is the name, but I think it's her name. So I can forgive it. But yeah, there's literally like print out pictures of her taped to the front.
What's its Google rating?
4.6.
Oh, that's too high. But I believe you that it's good.
What do you mean it's too high? I actually have done a lot of Google reviews thanks to Callie.
Oh wow.
Like we started as a joke, but now like now I get notifications that are like you're in the top like 10% of Google
reviews. Oh my God. It's like me with Yahoo Answers.
Yeah.
No, it's like a trick. Maybe it's not the same in like outside of the Northeast or outside of like the New York area. But to know like whether, because like say you want to go to a Chinese restaurant, obviously it's not the same as Malaysian, but you want to go to a Chinese restaurant and like there's so many of them and like the variety is like all over the place. You don't want to go to the ones that have like 4+
really good
you want
reviews.
Like 3.5 about because that means that it's like still that it's good and not like a health hazard but that it's like authentic, you know, that's how you get like the actual good like homemade shit and not just like whatever. Are you leaving a Google review?
Yes. I don't know, or if it's just like really good. Yeah, you know, they're not like farming it.
Because you want the restaurant to be a little grimy. You know what I mean? Like you don't want.
You think
like
people are rating based on the ambiance, not the food?
I think sometimes.
I wish you could know like which it was because you're right. Like
yeah, so we finally meet our villains when we get to Eldora, and one of them
kind of
is a gay icon, and the other one is a dick. Andreas, the cousin, is an icon. He's a legend. I love him so much.
But I forgot who the other guy was for a second. I thought you were talking about like Ellen or whatever.
No, it's the fucking Speaker of the House or Speaker of the Parliament. And his name is Airhall. But the way the audiobook narrator was pronouncing it was like Earl. And at first I was like,
Earl Hall.
Does Anna Huang just not know like how titles work? Or like is his name Earl, like his first name Earl, and like they're all just on really familiar terms with like the Speaker of Parliament? Like I was so confused. It took me so long to realize that this was like his last name.
That is really funny that Earl is a given name. I believe you. That's how they were saying it, but like as soon as you said Air Hall, I thought that's how they were saying it. So I don't. Yeah,
it was like a mix of the two. So like at first hearing, it was Earl.
Earl.
But then I thought it was just like Earl with like, okay, this audiobook narrator has like an accent, like how some audiobook narrators say like milk or like woman instead of women. You know, like I assumed it was just something like that.
Wait, how is it spelled?
I don't know because I listened to the audiobook, but I did slow it down.
Oh, well, how do you know?
And then I looked in the Goodreads reviews and saw people talking about it. And I was like, okay.
Well, how were they spelling it?
I don't
Or they were talking
remember.
about they were talking about that they thought it was Earl also.
No, they were just talking about that guy. I don't know. The phonetic, the my in my notes phonetic pronunciation spelling is Ehrhall.
I thought like Errhol. Yeah.
Either one.
Yeah. So he's the
It could
Speaker
have
of the
been either.
House, and he doesn't think Bridget is going to
Speaker
be
of
able to do a good
Parliament.
job. Speaker of Parliament, whatever, same thing. Isn't the House part of Parliament? The House of Lords, the House of Commons.
I don't think they call them
Yeah.
the House. I don't that think that's an American thing.
Okay. Well, whatever. Not an Eldoran thing,
Yeah.
which it does
Well,
mimic the
they're
British
like
monarchy.
allegedly British, but like not really British because like both Nikolai and the Grandpa King have British accents and Bridget does not.
Do they? Wait, really? They have British
Yeah.
accents?
Or they I mean, they have what the audiobook narrators are attempting to do
Considers.
British accents.
Well, Rhys does say that that Bridget has a slight Eldoran accent, and so does
Yes, and
Alfred.
like and very occasionally when we're in his POV, the audiobook narrator does give her like a little bit of an accent, but like when we're in her POV, no accent. She does not have an accent,
Yeah.
but
No, I
her
know.
relatives do.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. She's a part-time princess. She's been away from home too
That's
long.
true. She's the part-time princess.
Just like it's the worst part is it's really not true.
How'd you feel about the fact that the love interest, I mean not really her love interest, her like fake boyfriend friend guy was named Stefan.
No, no, because no, I thought you didn't notice she says Stefan in her POV and then he says Stefan. And the way that the way the narrator said it the first time made it sound like Rhys was like intentionally mispronouncing it the way you do to like
He
someone
does
you don't
do that.
like.
That is
You know,
something
like
he's done to other characters in this book.
right. No, that's the vibe I got because he was like, I don't care about Stefan, you know, like Tom Riddle. That's what I thought it was. Because yeah, no, if but the
Okay.
Bridget's narrator had no problem with it.
I'm ready to accept that. However, I am still like anytime I have a book in which our heroine has to kiss someone named Stefan, I'm just like,
Yeah.
mm.
I thought it was really funny. Like one of the many times, I was like in the first half, but one of the many times he's like jealous of someone. Or no, sorry, he's talking about Stefan. Yeah, when he's like jealous of Stefan and when she goes on the ice skate date with them, he's like, who goes on a date with someone they met 4 days ago? That's ridiculous. Like for a princess, we should need at least like a year, maybe 5 years worth of data before they can like go, who? Yeah, and that is true. Why would you go on a date with someone you met 4 days ago? That's ridiculous. It's far too quick. And then he's like, and then when Stefan, we can just say Stefan because like then it's
Okay.
not like Stefan
Differentiated.
has to like go. Honestly, I think we talked about this before, but every time there's like a character named Stefan in a fictional book, I just think of like Prince Stefan from Sleeping Beauty. Like Stefan, our brother, doesn't cross my
His
mind at
name
all.
is Prince Philip in Sleeping
Oh,
Beauty.
well,
What
then
the
which
fuck are
one
you
is,
talking
sorry,
about?
which one? There's one that's Stefan. Oh, it's King Stefan, not Prince Stefan.
I was like that. It sounds familiar that it's Sleeping
With
Beauty, but
like,
I was
and
like,
he
his
has
name
like
is
dark
definitely
hair.
Philip.
And he has like dark hair and a
Yeah, and
beard.
a beard.
So so he has to go do something, like go hang out with his
Go
sick
take
mom
care
or
of his
something.
sick mom and also fall
Yeah,
in love with her nurse.
right. And Rhys is like, even fate doesn't think this is a good pairing, or else it wouldn't have pulled him away so quickly, Stefan. He's like, see, not in the cards. I just can't believe that Rhys's dad being an Eldoran, like that doesn't end up having like any effect on.
Because he's a bastard.
No, I know,
So
but
it
like, what
doesn't
was the
matter.
point of like hinting at it and like setting it up so much?
I guess to make you think that it was gonna have that like very neat ending of like, oh, it doesn't even
Oh
matter because like
no,
he's
I knew it couldn't.
noble.
Yeah. Oh yeah, actually I did think that was gonna happen. I thought like it was gonna take she was gonna have to be like willing to abdicate or something, just so that it's not just like, oh, they're only together because like whatever. But then like last minute he was gonna come in and be like, oh yeah, I'm actually like fine. It's all good.
No. It just gives him a brother, a great brother,
Right.
a new friend,
Alberto. What's his name again? Alfred, Humbert,
Andreas.
Andreas, right?
Not even close to Alberta.
It's very close to Alberta. It starts with an A. There was too many A names. There was like a Prince Andre or Albert or Alfred or something also earlier on. And I was like,
Was
why is she
there?
like dancing with her
Do you
cousin?
think that's the king? What's the king's name?
Oh God. I don't fucking something with an
Grandpapa.
E. Edvardo. Grandpa.
Edhard?
Edvard. Edvardo.
Edward? I don't know. I don't
Edvard.
Edvardo does sounds not
Edhard.
maybe. Eddie Boy.
It'd just
Edward
be
Cullen.
Edvino. Edwina. Edward Cullen. Robert Pattinson. Did you think when they first introduced that Rhys and I already forgot what his name was, Andreas,
Andre.
were brothers? Were you like shit? Like, how, where is this like incest plot line going? And then I realized that like you could be cousins on like different sides. Like, because
Yeah.
first I thought it was like Andreas's dad that he thought was his dad was also like Rhys was also like a bastard child from that dad, but then it turns out they just both have different dads. But then I realized
Yeah.
that like even if they had like the same dad that was also like technically Bridget's whatever like uncle, it could still not be incest if they were related on like the other side. You know, isn't that weird? Like you can't date your cousin or it's incest, but like you could technically set up two of your cousins to date each other,
Oh, I
and it
saw that
wouldn't be.
you made a TikTok
I
about
know, so
this.
it made
Was it
me think
inspired by
this.
this book?
Yeah, because I
I was
realized it's
wondering what
like,
brought that to mind for you.
yeah, like right. I mean, think about our cousins on either side. Like they've never met. They live on different continents.
We don't even have cousins on one side
Well,
of the
we have
family.
cousins that are the level that Bridget and Andreas are. Like
I thought Bridget, no, I guess, yeah, I think their
his grandfather
grandfathers
is
were
the king's cousin,
brothers,
is the king's brother. I mean, yeah. But yeah, isn't that weird?
I guess. You know what's also weird? Speaking of fate approving matches, one thing I love about Anna Huang, like if there's one thing she's going to do in her books, is make the weather match the scene.
What
And in this scene, we
is that
have
called
when they're
again?
fucking in the, I don't,
There's an English class word. It was on like a poster.
I'm sure, when they're fucking in the gazebo, and every time she comes, lightning strikes.
Oh my God. Yeah, I thought the rain was going to cause more of a problem because he was like, oh, I just realized it was going to rain.
No, it's just like a sexy in the rain gazebo.
Mm-mm.
Hang out.
Feels like it could be a Jeopardy clue. Oh, Jeopardy is a lot more fun to watch when you like know the rules, which I never, I feel like this never
Oh,
explained
did
until
you
like I
never know the
finally
rules of
had it explained
Jeopardy?
to me. Do you understand Jeopardy?
Yeah.
It's called, no, I don't want to know like the actual psychological pathetic fallacy. Why is it a
What?
fallacy? It's called pathetic fallacy. Wow.
That's
Someone really,
what?
it's a literary device in which human emotions or whatever, like, are attributed to aspects of nature, such as the weather. It's not attributing the emotions, it's just matching them. For instance, the weather can be used to reflect a person's mood with dark clouds or rain present in a scene involving sorrow. It's a form of personification. A pathetic fallacy. That's really funny. Someone was really annoyed at someone doing it. I was
Someone
like, what a
really
pathetic
doesn't like that.
fallacy. Or know what the word fallacy means, right? Like, why would it be a fallacy? Like, it's something like can't actually happen. Like, I don't know. It's fucking
Yeah,
fiction.
because like the weather doesn't actually reflect, but it's like a technique. Like the same
Mhm.
way that like a metaphor isn't like one to one, but it's not a fallacy.
Yeah. So she goes on her tour. This is like while she's on her tour of like the country TM.
To help the pores.
Noses are down.
And then
Yeah.
she gives the pores permission to contact her.
Hmm. And then she gets a weird, or no, that hasn't happened yet. The like video.
There's just like there's a lot of various, they have sex all over the palace. At one point, like most of the sex scenes I really enjoyed in this book. I really like the crawl to me scene. That's like the
Mm.
iconic scene of this book where he like
Hmm.
Nikolai's
Yeah,
wedding and they go and
sure.
whatever. At one point he eats her out on the throne. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I know they're not cameras in there. Like, I'm sorry, they really
No,
aren't
I
being
guess
careful.
not.
Right.
Apparently there are no cameras in the throne room.
Jewel thieves take note.
The
Eldora, great
Eldoran
target.
throne room is unprotected. At one point they're fucking. At one point they're fucking. Okay, so wait. So he has her wear like a vibrator, whatever.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
yeah. What a
she's in the
trope.
middle of a fucking meeting and he
Isn't
turns
that
it like
also 50
normally.
Shades of Grey?
No, she has like balls in her butt or something. Or like in her, I don't
Right, okay,
know. She has
whatever.
balls in. Um,
Right, whatever.
I would find that great. Like I would really enjoy that. But she's in the middle of a very precarious meeting with like the evil minister guy and her uptight grandpapa and Andreas, and he's like turning on this vibrator where she's trying to have an important
Hmm.
meeting.
Well, he doesn't know. He thought she's out of it, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, he
like
could have
clearly
checked.
you know that something has held her up.
Yeah, like right, like because he's like waiting in her office, and she would have been back there if she was done, right? Like,
Yeah, and he's like not contrite at all. And then they
I
fuck in the
know.
office, and her like friend Michaela.
Uh-huh.
That's funny. We were talking Michaela and Bridget.
Yeah.
Her friend Michaela is like knocking on the door, but they have to like finish fucking first, and he like covers her mouth. And like this is a pet peeve of mine, not just in this book, but like in any book with a sex scene in which like you have a situation in which they're having sex, they have to be like quiet. And it always is set up that like the only thing they have to keep quiet is like their like moans or whatever. Like he covers her mouth and like we're supposed to
Hmm.
believe that like that's enough for
Hmm.
Michaela to not be able to hear them. But like in this same scene, like we have a
Michaela's
quote of
exceptionally
like,
observant,
but like
TM.
5 seconds ago we have a quote flesh slapped against flesh quote. Like
Yeah.
what
Whatever.
does she
Yeah.
think they're doing back there playing patty cake? Like,
Right.
you telling me Michaela can't hear? Like, come on, she's stupid. But like,
Apparently
but
she
this is not just
can't.
in this scene. This is just like in all scenes. I'm like, there, there are more noises that happen besides.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't really like the treatment Michaela and Ellen got. Like, I don't know why they ended up being like, but like that was just like silly. It should have been like the other, because there's like a part where she's like, oh, like her mother's like other advisor, whatever the fuck his name is, also doesn't like me. I thought he would have like warmed up to me.
Yeah,
So he could have been like, anyway, or it could have been like a different, yeah, motive.
I didn't mind Elena because I was like out with the old guard. Michaela,
Ellen.
the reason, I mean, I do like in the like epilogue or whatever, Bridget is like, we're working our way back to like being friends again.
Mm.
But I didn't like that like Bridget has no friends in Eldora.
Well, because she left so long ago, right? Like, she didn't
Yeah,
really
but
keep
I
in
didn't
contact.
like that's not like I didn't like that.
Okay.
That she like by the end of the book, by the time that she is being crowned
She
queen,
still has no friends.
has no friends besides the
Hmm.
4 friends that don't live in her country. And I just feel
Right.
like it's very important. It would be very important, especially for her, to have
Right.
friends.
Right. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So that was the only reason I didn't like that Michaela like wasn't a friend.
It could have like still been her, but like had her have like a different motive. Like, oh, I thought it was gonna like make it work or whatever. I don't know. Okay, so then yeah, the sexy montage, and then it culminates in Nikolai's wedding where
Well,
they have
yeah,
sex
that's the crawl to me scene.
in the library. Yeah. And Andreas is like looking for her to tell her something or
To tell
whatever.
her about, I think, his
Whatever.
pa
And then
or
like,
whatever.
yeah. I thought he found out a while ago.
Yeah, but I think he's finally ready to
I
tell
don't know.
her or like tell her that he's gonna like give up trying to take her throne. Because this whole thing
Hmm.
was like, I mean, I don't want to be a king, but like, it's for the good of the country.
Hmm. And then the next day she gets an email with a video of them having sex in the library that's just like, you're not being very careful, dot, 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 which like really does sound like blackmail.
Yeah,
She never tells what's his face about this, Rhys,
she
which
tells
sees a
him
hot take
a
eventually, I
long
guess.
time later, like
But doesn't he
well
like
after it
already
stops being
know?
relevant.
Yeah. And then she's like, fuck, whatever. And then like a few days later, she doesn't tell anyone, like a week later, a few days later, a tabloid scandal comes out with a bunch of like technically innocent but kind of like suggestive pictures of them. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because they go to the hotel together for like a spa day, TM, like
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, and they meet Stefan's
And then you
convenient
run into
for
Stefan
his
and
poor love
Malin.
interest.
Yes. Who I really thought I was like thinking they were in it's just a weird like dynamic. I thought it was gonna be that like Stefan was gay or something. And
Hmm.
Malin was like just his friend. And that's why it was that weird, like, you'll make a lovely couple, but like sad, whatever.
I didn't get that vibes. I can see before the Malin scene, I could have gotten behind the Stefan is
Because the
gay
Malin scene was
theory.
weird. It wasn't like quite,
I know the Malin scene felt very like parallel
I don't know.
to like what Rhys and
Yeah.
Bridget had going on.
So I guess so.
I guess so. There's this one fan art of this person who like made like a tabloid like with these pictures and like did like the full thing. And it always like comes across
Mm.
my For You page like every once in a while. And I just like if I can find it, I'll link it below. But like props to
Really?
it's like it's great. I always stop to like be like, this is a great fan art, you know, like I stop to admire it every time and
Yeah.
like to read the tabloid.
That's funny. So they're all called into a meeting and they're like, is it true? And she's like, yeah, it is true. And then they're like, you need to break it off. And she's like, no. And then her grandfather has another heart attack, which I guess we didn't say, but like he had a heart attack before
We
due to
definitely
some
have
like
mentioned
genetic condition. Yeah. And it can like happen
and
again at any point.
because he like overworks himself. Like,
Right.
that's the point. She's immediately she thinks that the shock that it's her fault. But like my literally my first thought when he has a heart attack was like, stop
I
being
thought
so
it was
dramatic.
no, I thought, and I think because of Twisted Love, I was like so suspicious of the grandpapa, and I really expected him to be like a villain, and I was like, either he like had the mom killed because like whatever, like he also is a misogynist, something, or like he's faking this like for the clout, like he's
That
faking
was
this to
another
manipulate
one.
her. Yeah, and right, I
I thought
thought
it
he
was
was
gonna
like
be like a
faking it.
Betty White in the proposal situation where she fakes a heart attack in order to like
Right.
manipulate Ryan Reynolds.
Right. Yeah, I too thought this. But I was wrong because she thinks it's like her fault. She's like, this is my fault. Like I killed him just like I killed my mom. I'm gonna kill him just like I
Oh yeah,
killed
her
my
mom died in
mom.
childbirth. I forgot about
Yeah, and
that.
she like blames herself. And that's another reason I was like, maybe the grandfather did like the mom, and that's another reason he doesn't like Bridget because like he does blame
He
her.
does like
No,
Bridget.
he doesn't. I know. I just like thought I was
Yeah.
just like when I was like trying to figure out who the blackmailer was and like who was like behind all of this. And just like again, Twisted Love really set this up,
Really
I
set you
think,
up for
to
just an
suspect like
insane ride.
any
This,
all betrayal, to suspect like all plausible. Yeah. Yes.
yeah.
And that was
Yeah,
not what
honestly,
happened
I
here,
don't,
but
I feel like no book in the series is going to be able to live up to the sheer insanity that is Twisted
no.
Love.
And that is okay, I think. Sometimes that's okay.
You're like, that's what I would prefer, right?
That's fine.
But so they break up.
Yeah, so she breaks up with him.
She's constantly having these thoughts that like right before this, she's like, my like Nikolai and my grandfather like would always choose the best interests of like the royal family and the country.
Right. Yes. There's other, it's not, I'm not crazy.
And that is simply not true.
Right. Like clearly not because Nikolai said fuck you to all of that.
Like not
Like,
6 months ago did he
right.
choose himself.
Right. Right. He did. Not you, Bridget. That's fair, but like he did choose himself. Yes. And so yeah, there was like setup there. Like she could have had it go either way. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really thought, yeah. And I was like, is this Magda person involved? Like, what's going
The
on?
fuck is Magda? Is she gonna like come parachuting in at the last minute and be like,
Yeah.
actually, I'm the lost princess and Rhys is my child? Like,
Right. Like what? Yeah.
the
I
fuck is
don't
up with
know.
Magda? But I do
Who's to
love that, like,
say?
I mean, this kind of applies to both of them, but like, especially for Rhys, like, she breaks up with him and like, he wallows for approximately 5 seconds. And then he's like, actually, no, no, you
Mm-hmm.
can't break up with me. I do have to leave the country to go hang out with Magda so that I
Oh,
can, because of
that's
my visa
right.
troubles,
Isn't
because of,
that's when the Magda thing happened,
because of
right?
my
Like,
visa troubles.
or wasn't it? No, because no, the Magda thing happened earlier. I forget what he does during this time, right?
No, he does leave the country because Bridget's like, you left. And he's like, I had to go deal with, like, I had to go do
Magda.
something. And also, my work visa
Yeah.
expired.
Yeah. And then Christian shows up, who's
You
like
mean,
his boss
oh, yeah.
slash friend, to talk him. I forget why he shows up. Is it just like to after he gets fired? He's like mad at her. I don't know. I don't remember.
He's basically like, why the fuck were you dating a client? I think.
And Christian's younger than him, which again, like, there's no reason.
Because he's been playing the long game, Rachel, just like Alex. I'm sure we'll find
Yeah,
out.
but there's no reason for him to be that much older. Like, I'm sorry, I know I made fun of the Alex thing, but like, I feel like if we're willing to embrace it in one case, like Rhys could have been younger. Like, that's still a big age gap. I don't know, like 31 to 23 is already like too much, you know?
Yeah.
But whatever, or however the fuck old they are, like
I
24,
mean, they're
25. I
letting her
don't
be
know.
the queen and her frontal lobe isn't even developed, so anything goes.
Yeah. But Christian, yeah, and Christian, and he's like, what's the quote? Christian was 31, but he could have passed for his mid to late 20s. And I was like, that is so silly because like that, yeah, of course he could because that's like the same age.
He's 5 years younger, like, okay.
Or late 20s, 29. Oh, he's 31, but he could have passed for 29. Like, okay.
Yeah, like mid to late 20s is like 27. Like
Right.
there's maximum like 4 years.
Right. Like, yeah, no shit. I don't know. Like, right. I
Like if
don't know.
you
I
told
guess
me he
some
could pass
people,
for like being in college, then I'd be like, okay, I understand what you're
that's a
saying.
stretch. Right. That is solely in Josh's purview.
No, Josh can't even pass. Like Josh has like the full wrinkles, but somehow he's still just popping up at these college parties.
Well, is he in medical school? How is he Doctors Without
He
Borders?
he wasn't, yeah, he was in medical. He graduated medical school and then he went to
And
Doctors
is
Without
still,
Borders. And then I think he's in his residency in his book.
oh, okay. But when he's in Ava's book, isn't he
I
just like
think he's
hanging
just going to
out?
med school. We spent a
Oh, so
long
he is
time.
in school? I thought he wasn't in school
There's,
anymore.
I don't
We
know.
roasted him really hard for that because he's
Yeah,
like
we spent
hosts
a
like
long time trying to figure
college
out why the
parties.
fuck he was still on campus. And I think that we did determine that he was in medical school. But honestly, it's still
Really?
weird for him
It's
to
still
be like
weird.
26 in medical school hanging
Yeah.
out with these like college
Yes.
juniors.
Yes, I agree. Yes. Not quite as weird as the 35-year-old fucking bodyguard.
Yeah, he's literally older than all of them.
Yeah, and for why? Like even than his boss, you know what I mean? Like that is just weird. But
Yeah, I
whatever.
don't know. I wonder what
Like
the choice.
how,
Yeah, I don't know what the
right? And
choice
you're telling me
was.
it needs to be believable for the military, but like what about creating your own like international security firm and like tricking people
Well,
into, and he looks
apparently
young for his age, not old.
Anna Huang knows that actually creating a multi-million-dollar business is incredibly straightforward for her heroes. That's the easy part. It's
But
developing a
raising,
grizzled war story background that takes time.
fair enough.
He's got to have time to kill a lot more people, you know. It takes
It
time
doesn't
to
take
like
that. Does it?
to do the kill count.
Does
You
it?
don't just have the free range that you used to on the trenches, you
Right.
know, where
To
you could
kill,
just
yeah,
spray a machine
civilians.
gun. Like now you gotta
Yeah.
like, you know.
God. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, Christian is basically like, guess what? Here's your dad. Your dad is the prime minister guy. Haha.
Yay.
And then Andreas is like, my dad is the prime minister guy too.
And he's like, so I thought he's like, wait, this is really funny. He was like, and like my mom didn't even tell my dad until right before she died, which was 6 years ago. And then my dad told me 3 years ago, right before he died. He's like, at least my family can take secrets with them to their graves. Literally. And I was like, sir, that's literally not taking secrets to your grave. That is spilling secrets before your grave. Those secrets are out, they remain behind you. They don't come with you to the grave. Like
They don't get sucked back in.
right? Right. Like what?
Yeah, but he's like, we're brothers. I don't want to tell anyone. And Rhys is like, I don't want to tell anyone either. And they're like, good, understood. Like, acceptable. And then completely independently, Bridget also finds out.
Right. Would Andreas actually be in danger of losing his title though if it came to light? I feel like no.
I don't know. Yeah, but that's something that I've always been kind of curious about in terms of modern aristocracy, because
There
so
are
like
DNA
the
tests, right? So
right, that's like how does DNA tests factor in?
yeah.
Because like before it was like if this baby is born while the mom's married, then like
Right. It's
legally it's
legitimate.
the dad, unless you can like prove that like they literally haven't had sex for like a
Somehow.
decade. But
Right.
like
Right.
so
Like,
like that
yeah.
that was just like you just had to accept it. But like
Well,
now with DNA tests,
it's
like
kind of still like that.
well, it
Like that
is.
applies
That's
to
what I'm
other people, not just to the aristocracy. Like, it's still true that like the if your husband is still like the presumptive father, and like I guess that really mostly applies. It applies against the genetic father. Like if you have a kid, if you have an affair and you have a kid and you're married, and your husband is like, this can be our kid, the other father can't come in and claim parental rights usually. Like the person you had an
Really?
affair
Even if they
with.
have like a DNA test?
Yeah. Like the husband is the father. Like if you're married, you're like the presumptive, not just presumptive parent. Like you can't really rebut the presumption. Like you are the parent if you're married.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Well, I mean, it's kind of
I
with
mean,
like
like it
the
makes sense, but like
aristocracy too.
why? Yeah.
Why are we keeping that? I mean, I don't know. That's just like how the tradition or whatever. You know, I don't know. So they
Yeah.
keep it for like the
Okay, so
normal
I
people. I
guess it
bet they keep it
doesn't
for the
matter.
aristocracy.
Well, because like
Yeah,
I
I
know
don't
for the
know.
aristocracy, it's like basically once you get a title, like it's very hard to take it away, even if it turns out, like, say, like your cousin
Hmm.
was supposed to inherit from his father, but then he died tragically, and then you inherit, but then 5 years later, the
Hmm.
cousin like comes back, like they
Hmm.
wouldn't take away your title because like you've already been
Really?
given it. Yeah. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
that's what in those situations, like they take, I mean, particularly like in the past when it was like harder to prove someone was dead, like
Hmm.
it was they took a lot of
Was it harder
time,
to
like,
prove? Was it harder to prove someone was dead?
well,
I
you
think
had
if
to
someone was
wait a
missing, it's
lot
still
longer. You had to like
why?
you
I
had
think
to
you
like
should still
wait,
have
like
to
they had to
wait.
be dead like at least like 7 years.
Yeah, I feel like you should still have to wait. If they go missing and
Well,
you're not sure if
I'm
they're
sure
dead.
they do. No, but like say, but it's just even like once you get the title, they
Hmm.
don't take it, like taking it
Hmm.
away is way difficult because they don't want to establish a precedent of
Well, and
taking
see,
away
I think they
titles.
all, well, I think that's not, no, now that you're saying that, I don't think that's just true of titles. I think that's true in general. Like if
Sure.
you have a will or something, or like if you, everyone thinks you're dead and then give away all your stuff, I don't think you can always get it back, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Listener, if you or someone you love came back from the dead mysteriously, what was your
Or
situation?
explainedly, the mysterious part was the first disappearance.
If you came back from the dead and tried to get your stuff back, did you
Legal
get it
death.
back?
Yeah. Because,
Let us
yeah,
know.
right. There'd be a lot of like unsettled, like that could cause a lot of problems, I guess. Like cause more
Yeah.
problems for you, but
Well, yeah. But I just feel like
yeah.
once you're like presumed dead, like you've already got problems.
Right. Yeah.
Shit's already
God.
hit the
Ugh, it's
fan.
scary.
But that doesn't happen with Andreas, or but
Yeah.
they do blackmail the prime minister guy.
Yeah. So I like the Andreas like kind of redemption arc because like Andreas has been super shady this whole time, like acting like he's gonna steal the throne, wants to steal the throne. He's been like shadowing this like slimy Earl Hall guy, which like makes it seem like and Earl Hall like seems to want him to be. And he's like, oh, I just like wanted to give him a chance, but like no, he sucks. Like,
Yeah. And you know
yeah.
what? Like the reason
Yeah.
he seems shady is just because he's camp, you know? Like
Right.
Andreas is
Sure.
just camp. He's
Sure.
just
I
flamboyant.
just didn't like that, like, I don't know, Bridget, the women got like randomly, I don't
That was
know, were
true.
like the
All the
villains for no
villains, besides for
reason.
the evil prime minister guy,
Yeah.
were women.
Yeah. Yeah. And out of nowhere, like it's like her friends or whatever. And it could have been, you know what I'm saying? Like there was like that other guy. And there's Ellen and like the man. The man was like, I don't know. He was like more
I just
shady
feel like
seeming.
I kind of forgot about the man. Oh, my question for you, what do you think? What is their couple name?
Mm,
Is it
Bridget,
Brees or Rigid?
Bridget,
Not Brees.
Bryce,
Bryce.
Briss,
Like, isn't that
Briss.
like isn't that the brie? Isn't that the circumcision ceremony
Oh, Brees.
in
Yeah,
Judaism?
Briss, Briss. Yeah.
Yeah. So Alex appears to save the day, and he does this little. She gets blackmail that she doesn't use at all. She
Right.
uses the power of love and politics to get them to overturn the law.
Yeah. I just like, and I just don't understand like why it seems, I guess it's like, finish out her character arc. It's like growing into becoming queen, but it really seems like her favor from Alex could have, which first of all, why did she have that again? Oh, she got them back together. Okay.
Yeah,
I,
she
I feel like
convinced
her
him to go after
favor
Ava,
could have been just like solving the whole problem, like doing all the grunt
make
work.
it go away.
Right. Not just like get me the blackmail folder, but just like get this law passed,
Yeah,
please, and thank you. Right?
yeah.
But I get that they were like, oh, this is her like stepping into her own as queen or whatever. But
Yeah, that she's gonna like do it herself, not take
right.
shortcuts. And then, of course, when the vote is overturned, the
Uh-huh.
ghost voice of Bridget's mom is like,
Oh yeah,
"I'm
that's
proud
so
of you,
weird.
sweetie," just out
It's
of
so
nowhere.
weird. And it's like pitched. She's like, I felt a prickle in the back of my neck as if someone was in the room. And like it like she had been setting up this whole time, like, oh, someone broke into Rhys's house. Like
Oh yeah.
someone is like managing to whatever. It makes no and yeah, it just like makes no sense. Also, yeah, so then when like Ellen and Michaela confess, I don't know, I thought it was gonna be like I thought it would because Michaela's like, I thought it would help you.
Yeah.
I like, why couldn't that help you have been like push you into like confessing your relationship and like making it work?
Well, I think it's just because she was like stupid and manipulated into it. Like it's supposed to be like Elena said it was for the best or whatever.
Ellen. And Rhys is like, I still don't understand how I could have like missed a tail when I forget who he thinks was the one following
On
them.
I don't know, but Andreas was the one who had him tailed.
Oh, right. So he did miss a tail. He was just like
Yeah.
distracted. I was gonna say
Yeah.
that still doesn't explain the pictures because like still someone was like surreptitiously taking them.
Oh,
And
I
that was
did.
set up as like so like
Oh, it was the
suspicion inducing.
photographer.
Like the court
I
photographer? What do you
rem
mean?
No, in I remember because I
Oh,
remember being so
oh,
confused. At one point,
oh,
Rhys breaks the
yeah.
camera of a guy, and then that guy is the
Right,
one who posts the
right. In the
tabloid
cemetery.
pictures. Yeah. Yes, because
Yes,
she's like
yes, you're right.
crying
You're
over
not
her
wrong.
mother's
Yes.
grave or whatever, her parents' graves.
Right, right. Yes.
That
Yeah.
checks out.
And Rhys like aggressively, yeah, which is really bold of him. Which like would have been good press, honestly. Like,
What,
I don't know
breaking the
what they were
camera?
complaining about. Rhys is not media trained. No, like her being at her parents paying her respects or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Rhys is not media trained or house trained.
Rhys has not been media trained. Although in the epilogue, he is like, we get like multiple paragraphs where he's like, it's really fucking annoying. They keep trying to media train me, basically.
Oh, really?
He's like, they're
Yeah,
trying to teach me how to use
or
forks. I
like
don't get it.
etiquette. Not media trained, just like etiquette. Yeah, like royal etiquette.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Andreas helps him, which is cute.
Yeah. Yeah, but this was, I mean, apart from the dirty talk and like the fairly explicit sex scenes, I don't know how
Mhm.
you felt whether you got this vibe too, but this felt very like early 2000s romantic like movie, like rom-com
Really?
rom drama. Like I felt
Really?
very, and I mean probably also because of the subject matter, but it like I got very like Prince and Me vibes. I got very like it
Mm.
just felt
Well,
very
subject
like
matter.
well,
Like
subject
Princess
matter, but just
Diaries.
like the
Like
vibes of like
the having to get married,
yeah, the
Princess
having to
Diaries.
get married and the like the Cinderella aspect, the like reverse Cinderella aspect
Well,
of
they said
it,
yeah,
and
they
like
called it a reverse fairy tale. And I was like, how is it a reverse fairy tale?
well, because the
Like
fairy tale, because the Cinderella is
maybe
always
reverse Cinderella, but not anyway. Yeah.
yeah,
Cinderella trademarked or something. Like, could they not?
no. Disney would like it to be, but no. Alas. Did you know Steamboat Mickey is finally in the public domain?
Maybe finally. Because don't they apparently like make rides and stuff at Disney World just to like keep it from going into the public domain, don't they? For
Yes,
like different
but
stuff.
after many, many decades of them like lobbying to get like continually making the copyright period longer and longer, like the reason like Disney's formed so much of copyright law in the US, Steamboat Mickey has now officially lapsed into not like all Mickey, but Steamboat Mickey, the first Mickey, is officially in the public domain.
Maybe I should apply to work for Disney as some
Maybe
kind of
for the
lawyer.
mouse.
Yeah, for the mouse.
You could be one of the iconic lawyers that Ron DeSantis keeps trying to go up against.
What do you mean?
You hear he's the governor of Florida, right?
Right.
That's who, Ron DeSantis.
I
He
think so,
he
yeah.
tried to like quote unquote take on Disney World.
Oh yeah, I
So
saw
like
that
they
vaguely.
have like a
Yeah.
bunch of
That's
special
ringing a bell.
privileges and like he essentially tried to like strip
Right.
them of it. But then like they did like a negotiation like they were
hostage
doing the
negotiation.
and basically they because like it was like a rush job and it was like him and like all these other dumbass politicians who like aren't Disney, lawyers for the mouse. Like
Right.
the thing was like Disney keeps getting these like special like land what are tax breaks or whatever until the last heir of King Charles, the last descendant of King Charles III dies.
That's what it says.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What? That he wrote that? He put that in there.
The mouse.
What? Like he put that in there.
Who?
Like Ron DeSantis put that in
No,
there?
the mouse lawyers did. And Ron DeSantis
Oh,
didn't
like
realize it.
okay.
And basically that means like,
Oh.
but like he literally didn't read it. Like I think he had this whole press conference where he was like, "We won." And then everyone was like,
Right.
dude."
Right.
Never go up against the mouse when Disney World is on the line.
Yeah. When land is on the line.
Do you want to jump on the cat scale?
Well, it would have been a lot fucking higher if she had gotten the kittens like it was set up to get, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck she didn't do that.
Me neither.
Why not the end as a coronation gift? Two little kittens with two little tiaras
Yeah.
and
Well,
like
they
fancy
would,
diamond bells like in Men
right.
in Black. You know how that cat has like the fancy collar? Like that's what I'm imagining.
Oh, with the
With the
universe
universe in
inside
it,
of
yeah.
it. But yeah, I mean, she does volunteer at the animal shelter in the beginning, and that's like because her mom liked animals.
But the cats are cruelly ripped away from us, never to be seen or heard from again.
Yeah, like, well, no, they are seen and heard from again. Her like friend, servant slash friend, the lady that she like volunteers with comes to the wedding
Does she? I was just
and like
about to
shows her
say.
pictures. Yes, and that's why I was like, it's bold of them to have given it to like that lady instead of,
Why
yes, she
wasn't
does.
she like they
Sandy,
had kittens?
the two cats.
Why wasn't she
Why would
like
the
they had kittens? Here's your wedding
Or why
present.
wasn't no, because that would be so irresponsible if she didn't get them fixed. Why isn't she like, here are like two more kittens from the animal shelter? Or here are the same kittens, like instead of her adopting them, why doesn't Bridget get to? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's like she adopted like whatever their names were, Georgie and Sandy. Also the parrot. Maybe she actually adopted a kid and a parrot. Because remember the parrot from the beginning that
Oh
was
yeah, the
like
parrot that like
funny.
curses. Yeah, why did she
Yeah.
adopt the parrot? That would have been fucking hilarious. Parrot hijinks around the
Yeah.
palace. They're trying to get it
Right.
on in a broom cupboard, and suddenly they hear like the
It's an
parrot.
impressive parrot. It's an impressive pair, like instantly learns new phrases. Yeah. It would be able to like impersonate, like, I don't know. It could be doing the blackmailing. And then it's like plausible deniability. Do you think there's gonna somehow be like an Earl Hall like redemption at some point as like a side plot in the later books?
No, I think we're never gonna see or hear from him ever again.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think we're gonna see or hear from any character in this book apart from Rhys and Christian and Bridget ever
Really?
again. I think they are going to disappear off the face of the earth because there's no
Fair
reason for
enough.
them to come back.
Fair enough.
Like, why would they be there? Why would they leave Eldora?
Because Rhys could be like on bonding father-son monthly bonding activity with Air Hall. Which like Air Hall suggests, like hopefully.
Oh yeah,
It's
he
like, what do
is.
you
He's
want?
like, can
Money,
we
recognition,
be friends?
monthly bonding activities.
Not that I want that. Definitely not.
Right. Well, and then at the end, he's like, well, like Bridget wasn't the first person to ever be like forced into like an arranged marriage.
Yeah, like she tries to add this like humanity to him, I guess, to make him not like a 3D cartoon villain.
Right, right. Yeah. So like plus a lot of points for the animal shelter bit at the beginning, minus
Mm,
quite a few points because
it was cruelly ripped away from us.
uh-huh, I'll hope.
It would have been fucking hilarious if she just walked around with that parrot on her shoulder the whole time. I would have given her cat scale points for that. That would have been hilarious.
Because the parrot lives at the animal shelter.
If the parrot just the whole time walks around the whole book. The parrot's there. Why wasn't the parrot involved in a plot point where like the parrot like says something and they're like, how would you know that? And it's because the parent overheard like a secret plot.
Right, right. Yeah, I know. There's so much room. Yeah,
I
truly
feel like there was a lot of
underutilized.
lost. I feel like we had a lot of
Yeah, like instead of having the like ghost of the mom, why not like bring
the
her hobbies
parrot.
full circle, right?
I heard a voice. Was it my mother? No, it was the parent. That's how
It
it should
was
have
like
been.
it was her mom who was the heir, right? Not her dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened to their grandma?
She mysteriously died. There can't be any
Like
sort of mother
totally,
figure. Rachel, you know how this works. Them's the rules.
right? I don't make them.
I don't think so far a single, Rachel, not a single one of our main characters in the first two books have a living mother
In two books.
in two books. Josh, we know, also doesn't have a
And
living
that
mother.
is suspicious. Or Rhys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of them. I'm
Or
saying
Alex.
I'm saying Alex,
Not a single
Ava, Rhys, and
character.
Bridget.
Oh,
Not a
yeah.
single main character has a living mother. Josh doesn't have a living
Is that
mother.
what is that what
Frankly, if you
Jules
told me
did?
that Jules' parents were also dead,
Like
I
that's
would
what she did in
be.
Ohio to make sure that she could
Yeah,
still be
she killed her
on
parents
this
with the
show.
painting.
I'm
She
sorry.
used the
There's
painting to
no
kill her
way you're getting
parents.
tickets to this show. I love your enthusiasm.
Excuse me, this is going to ruin the tour. What tour? The world tour. She shoots her parents.
Not gonna ruin the tour.
I won't
Was
let
he
you
really
ruin the tour.
was he really supposed to go on a world tour?
I don't know. I didn't realize he was that popular still.
Yeah, me neither. I wonder if I would recognize him. Like I feel like
Justin
people look
Timberlake?
so yeah, I can picture his face in my head, but like I have no idea if he actually looks like that now.
That's
And I feel
true.
like
I
people
always
never
picture his
look like
baby
they
face.
do. I guess I've seen enough like I don't know if I've seen enough videos of him. People always look so different than they do in like still photos, right? Like I don't think anyone would recognize me from my TikToks, you know?
Just come across a Forbes article about the ruin the tour beam. This has made it to major news.
How did that story get out? Did the cop like give an interview or something?
An
Or did Justin
anonymous
Timberlake's people say it as a
source
way to
and
like
an
make it funny?
anonymous source
Haha.
for page 6. Jesus at the Last Supper looking at Judas. This is going to ruin the world tour.
Oh my God.
Okay. Catskill. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2,
2, 1,
1,
7.
2. Jesus
Wait, it
Christ.
can't be that low. We've given twos to things that have 0 cat.
No, we give ones to thing with 0 cats.
I give like 3s.
So I know
So
you've just been insane with the cat scale recently. I can't even talk to you
I
right
don't know.
now.
I feel like I'm being internally consistent. That's what yeah.
Oh, so it's me that's
No, we're both being internally consistent, just not with each other
okay. So the
externally.
cat scale is 4.5. A 7?
Okay.
I feel like
There's
that's
so
like the
many.
same thing you gave Twilight
It
or
opens
like
up on Animal
Akatar
Shelter.
with a
And also
parrot
his
as
name
the main
is
star.
like also his name is Rhys though. So if that counts for something.
Yeah, but he's like a Doberman. No, he's not a Doberman. Bridget is a Doberman.
He's not skinny. Yeah, I agree with that.
Rhys is a mutt. Rhys is like
Okay.
a
Right.
pit
Fair
mix
enough. People, yeah.
who was rescued from like a dog fighting ring and now just lives in a comfy, cozy home and wants to be cuddled.
Mm, nice. Hey, Allison, where can they find us?
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at We Read It One Night, on Twitter at We Read It Podcast. You can email us at wereaditone@gmail.com. You can check out our Etsy, Evelyn Adelaide, and buy us a coffee at the links in the description. And then you can leave us a rating and review because if you don't, it's really going to ruin the tour.
What door?
The world tour.
Godspeed, comrades.
Godspeed on the world tour.